Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play ALatte 2 with me, EclecticAndrew the Gamer. I just want to show off, after getting that weapon, the Dark Moon, and the Dark Weapon in Groundhorn, I went over to Yego's Island, and I did make the Double Moon for my Gargoyle if I ever decide to use him again. Look at how strong it is. Very nice, right? Well, now we are here in A Latte, doing some side quest stuff of the Sealed Ruins. A Latte is the current sealed ruin I can enter in order to get some power units for Deke back. Maybe some other stuff for who knows who. Take out these monsters that we're fighting in here and level up. Yeah, who do we want to level up today? Yeah, let's go with Choco, Shu, Liza, and then say... I could take Gargoyle, but he's kind of low level. I'd hate to take him and I have to spend all my time reviving him or something. Let's take Pondit and Iga. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's go with this party. A party of 5. Okay, time for some Wolfie battles. Okay then. As I recall from some test plays I've done earlier in my life, these wolves will be quite a little fast, so expect them to be going pretty much before all your party members. Apparently, except for Choco or Shu, because Choco is a demon and Shu is just fast. He's one of the fast party members of the game. And sorry, my controller is vibrating incessantly, so I'm trying to stop it, because I just started playing today. So, welcome to technical difficulties. And there we go. Technical difficulties done for now. Let us fight some wolfies. Oh yeah, I forgot to give Iga the stick. What kind of wolves are these? Are these killer wolves? They're similar to the wolf we saw in the... what do you call it? The Forbidden Ruins. And we are in a latte. So maybe one of these wolves over here got super strong and became super vicious and went over to the Forbidden Ruins to say, hey, I'm moving up in the world. I'm moving on up. To the north side, to the Forbidden Ruins. To the deluxe apartment in the ground. Yeah, that was that killer wolf that gave us the Styx weapon that Pondit currently has equipped. The Styx Tooth. In order to gain back some MP whenever he attacks. Oh crap. They're paralyzing me. What is Choco doing? Oh, Choco's dry heaving. Okay. Interesting choice of paralysis. What is she doing? God damn, that's scary, frightening. Well, let me talk about something I've discovered recently. I've been hearing some snippets of this in the recent months, but there is something called Retro Achievements for old games. It's a website, apparently dedicated to building up a reservoir of achievements, like on Steam or maybe PlayStation or Xbox, I'm not sure, of game progress in your games that you play. The Retro Achievements, of course, does use emulators and all that, so... But it's very interesting to see that there are even achievements for ALatte 2. So that's very interesting to see that there's some little checklist I could be using, and it's not a little checklist at all. It's a very big checklist, actually, for ALatte 2. For things I could be doing in this Let's Play. Which does include synthesizing all the items on Diego's Island. I wonder if maybe there is some way that they found they can synthesize those items without making use of the Monster Arena Battle disc game. I'm not sure. But besides that double moon there, I think I might be done, except for maybe the micro bomber for Paco, because I'm pretty sure you can buy tower guards later in the game, and then as a means of getting the weapon for the micro bomber synthesis item, I think it's pretty easy to get that. I think it's almost a required item for Paco when you later on in the game. There's also the achievements you can get. Whoa, pawned it, you poor boy. Look at the poor boy. Jeez Louise, he's scary. He's scary, doggy. Poor puppy. Stop breathing all over my people. As if it wasn't bad enough how fast they are. They're now making all my people paralyzed. The Retro Achievements website thing, it does also have achievements for Game Boy games, NES games, Super NES games, PlayStation games. I didn't see any for Wii or anything, I think. I saw some for DS. That was interesting to see. Stop dodging my knife attacks. But yeah, if you're ever in the... I don't know what the points are used for, because apparently the achievements do give you points, but I didn't see what the points are used for. I'm sure there are many other people that are more familiar with retro achievements than I am that could give you more of a digestible version of what everything does on that website, but feel free to check it out if you want. I think it's interesting. I'm checking it out myself. Well, I think this is the first battle of this sealed rune completed, so yay. Took a minute, but we did it. Aw, Choco's so happy. Ooh, a defense item, defense increasing item, a cure-all, random cure-all, and that is all for this floor. On to the next floor, the first basement. That's an interesting setup of monsters. Ooh, that's an interesting hallway. An interesting sealed room within the walls of this floor. Seems like all the treasure for this floor is in that hallway there. And looks like there's one staircase down. But then as for the monsters, I think I want to send one person down and everyone else to the right to deal with these wizards of whatever they are. Oh yeah, I also saw that there is a retro achievement for getting all the 100% completion of the monster picture book. So that's interesting. They made a use for the monster picture book in the achievements on that website. That's neat. Very neat. There are some games like Soul Blazer where well, you know how sometimes like Chrono Trigger achievements in Steam, you just progress through the game basically to get most of the achievements or see all the endings that you can get in the game. For Soul Blazer, you can, on retro achievements, you can fight the bosses without taking any damage to get some achievements on there. So that's cool. You can basically try to no hit, no damage run the bosses. Otherwise, most everything else I saw on that achievement page was mostly just progression of the game. Because I like Soul Blazer quite a lot. It's my favorite Super Nintendo game. I do not, however, like Illusion of Gaia. I've never played Terra Enigma because I'm an American. Never got the game over here in the States, and never really looked at any of the emulators for it before. And, I've seen H.C. Bailey's Let's Play of it once. One time through. It was interesting. Not from a want-to-play standpoint, but more of a sure, why not standpoint. And I mentioned Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terra Enigma in the same sentence because they're basically the progression of the series. They're made by the same company, with basically the same train of thought in the hero creation, and how the progression of the world goes, and the dungeons and everything, and you also fight the same final boss most every game. Technically, Death Toll is an Americanization name for Dark Gaia. So you fight Dark Gaia at the end of the Illusion of Gaia, you basically also fight Death Toll is actually Dark Gaia at the end of Soul Blazer. And I think you fight Dark Gaia at the end of Terra Enigma. I don't remember. Man, my people are taking damage. Yeah, these sealed ruins are kind of good vibe and hangout episode kind of deal with going through them, because they're basically just tiny side dungeons that make use of monsters and treasures and dungeons and floors, and they're not made for any story progression. They're made for leveling up, I believe, and for getting Deepek stronger, of course. Because, of course, at the bottom of these sealed ruins, there are going to be the power units. Or maybe even sometimes halfway through. Or maybe even down 2 split paths, maybe, who knows. So yeah, the sealed ruins are a good way to make use of leveling up your people. Especially since you do need to level up quite a few people in this game. Oh good, we've won the battle. Happy Choco, happy, happy, happy Choco. B2. Hello, wizards and wolfies? Okay, what do we got here? A little bit of treasure, a lot of monsters, and 1 staircase. And 1 very odd little notch in the wall that looks like it's able to be walked into. I hate when games do that like that. And it always makes you think like there's something there. Which actually, like Chrono Trigger, there was a little notch in the wall of the 1 dungeon early on in the game, which I could not figure out how to make use of it. Yeah, so, you know, in Chrono Trigger, there's the dungeon where you're trying to find the queen who's been kidnapped by monsters, supposedly. But then also, supposedly, the queen has been found. But it's Marley. So yeah, you go looking for the queen after Marley disappears, because without the queen, her ancestor, Marley will disappear from the timeline, a la Back to the Future 1 physics. And so there was that one room in the dungeon, the cathedral, where you find the king, the queen, and a guard just randomly sitting around, and it turns out they're monsters. But there's that little notch in the wall. When I was younger, I tried my damnedest to get in there, into that notch, and try to see, like, it looks like that could be something. Even as a kid, I thought that. I wanted to get into that little notch and see what was in there. But for some reason, as a little kid with the Super Nintendo, I could never figure it out. I think ages later I did figure it out, and make my way into that cathedral for Magus that the monsters built in there. I guess it makes sense the monsters to build cathedral to Magus in a side area. Well, I guess really that wasn't a cathedral for the monsters. It was a base of operations for Yakura. So that's why his main room where you fight Yakura was at the back of the cathedral, and not the cathedral was the main, wasn't the main deal of that church dungeon. That's a word. Church dungeon. That's not something you hear every day. Well, let's hope we never really hear it ever again. Although now I'm thinking about London Bridge. Because wasn't London Bridge years ago? Many years ago? Hundreds of years ago, when it was first built or whatever? All those little archways that you can get into in there? Weren't some of those used as dungeons and prisons for people that they wanted to get rid of? Or just completely oppress? Because it was like... You know how there's a You know how bridges are built with one little full part on the side, on two sides, and then you have the archway over between them. There was older times made good use of that archway as a means of a dungeon for people. Even I think here in the States, we had forts built like that, where they weren't exactly water bridges, but they were like wall bridges or some kind of bridge, or maybe even basement bridges or whatnot. Oh hey, a healing point. Yay. And so they were made use of by putting prisoners in there and even sealing off the walls so that people could not get in or out of those prisons. So let's check this little notchway. Can we get in here? No, we cannot. Interesting. I wonder why it's there. Or maybe it's just another chrono trigger for me. Okay, I would like to take lives and scan these wizards for some odd reason. To do it for whatever reason I can't do it. Oh, there's a power unit right there. Stairs going up. Okay, seems like we're going back up to that hallway we saw in between the walls of that one floor. That'd be very nice. Get all those treasure chests in there. Come to me, wolfies. So, One thing I would say about retro achievements is I don't think I would do the 100%ing of everything, you know, because I'm not a completionist, super completionist of games. Because, you know, I'm not a completionist, or the completionist, no. I'm just EclecticAndrew, a gamer. And I do like achievements as a means of having a checklist of things or specialty things to do. But I don't enjoy the challenge of doing every single little thing. You know, like with PlayStation games, you can platinum trophy them. Yeah, I don't like doing that. Or even critical mode of Kingdom Hearts and whatnot. Yeah. Sometimes the challenge just ain't that great for me. Maybe that's one reason why I get so blasé about Path XL's 1 and 2 endgames. You know, all those maps. I'd still like to run them as best I can, but even if it takes me a while, I'm gonna try to take care of that with my Slay Them series. You know, because I would like someday to become good enough to beat those pinnacle bosses. I do like pinnacle bosses, uber bosses, super bosses. Sometimes they add to the story, like with Amon in Dragon Warrior 4, to where he's the one that's been the cause of all Bizarro's troubles, while he's trying to manipulate him into becoming this super demon lord to wage war against humanity. And once Amon's defeated, once Bizarro's defeated, Amon takes over the monster forces of the world and uses the secret of evolution to become a demon lord himself and try to take over the world through his own means, with him at the forefront instead of in the background. So that's like a story progression super boss. I like that. There's bosses like Ozma in Final Fantasy IX. I don't remember Ozma for one thing, but I do think I beat him once. Beat it once. Ozma. Don't remember for the life of me what I did or how I did. Probably just followed the strategy in the strategy guide. Because I wasn't very hip on video game playing. For a long time I did make good use of a lot of strategy guides. I had a lot of strategy guides. I had over 200, 300 strategy guides, but there was a move, and I left a lot of them behind to be thrown out by whoever took over the house and whatnot. And I kind of wish I had, because people do like those strategy guides nowadays and like collecting them. But I mean, basically, I did collect them too, but back then. But it just wasn't fun to carry all those books around. I mean, I've moved almost 10 or 15 times in my life. It's annoying. You gotta cut down on the books you gotta carry around, you know? You gotta choose and pick and choose what books you need with you to play video games. Or to read, or to study, or... It can be absolutely frustrating. Why am I over here? This is not where I came in. Okay, well, let's get the power unit since I'm right here. Power unit number 8. Take it or leave it. I will take it, good sir. Sir and or madam, as they say. Ooh, a cestus. Basically from what... Excuse me. Basically from what I know from... Ooh, the wind charm. from what I know of from watching history, medieval weapon fighting shows years ago on History Channel, is the cestus is basically... What are you doing back there creeping like that? Why are you being a creeper? Basically cestus is, spikes put through a silk cloth, or whatever kind of cloth you have on hand, and then you wrap the cloth around your knuckles, with the spikes facing outward, of course, or nails, you know. And that's a cestus, as far as I remember. Which makes it strange that sometimes the cestus is kind of one of the strongest weapons in video games. It's such a simple weapon, and yet it's also very, you would think, not easy to... Well, it's easy to make, but not easy to... You gotta know that certain way of wrapping your hand in order to... And you want to be very easily prepared for battle. I mean, that might take you 5 or 10 minutes to wrap a cestus around your hand. I mean, brass knuckles. Put your hand in your pocket, whip it out, boom. I do not condone the use of brass knuckles. I do not. I condone the use of brass knuckles, is what I mean to say. Do not use brass knuckles. They are very deadly. Not very nice for making use of fair fighting or anything. Do not use them for fighting. They're very deadly. And do not use them for protection either. That's not protection. That's outright attempted murder if you're using them. So... I mean, with video games, I mean, you're killing all these millions of monsters, of course, throughout your life, but still, not always going to be what you want to do with your life in reality. And I think Shu just died. Damn, Shu did just die. But yeah, you don't... Self-defense is not just going all out. Self-defense is equal force or lesser force against... or with smarter tactics against a more lethal force. You do not need to always meet lethal with lethal if you're good enough. And I know a lot of people are not good enough. A lot of people are not well trained or very well prepared for stuff, but just be safe. Run away if you can. Run away is more advisable than most anything else. But if you do need to take up arms, use your hands first. And try to just capture the person, not go all out. Because you gotta meet the requirements for... I do think in a situation like in Star Wars, I'm using this fantasy as a... In the situation in the fantasy book of Star Wars, one of the New Jedi Order books, or Fall of the Jedi Order, whatever it's called, where the Mandalorians are attacking the Jedi Temple because the Jedi are trying to get a small fleet of ships out to help Luke Skywalker. And Admiral Dahlia's, well, Galactic Leader Dahlia is taking over, is put the Jedi in their place and saying, and hired all the Mandalorians to say, keep these Jedi in order. And so the Jedi are trying to get out, and the Mandalorians are laying down heavy cover fire on them. Oh, that's Pondit. I'm sorry, Pondit. I did not mean to try to punch you. So Leia and Han Solo are there. And so Leia's fighting with her lightsaber and doing okay. But she looks over and sees Han Solo. He is pinned down, and they are trying to focus him, if anything. And so she's concerned because there's 2 or 3 other Jedi right there with him, and they're just playing defense. And so she's like, what are you guys doing? My husband's right there. He's about to die. You need to do more than defense, people. So she goes all out and saves Han Solo and saves the 2 or 3 Jedi that were nearly also probably going to be taken out themselves. And here's the other power unit. Very nice. Oh, that's the end of the dungeon. And yeah, that's a war situation. That's a wholly separate situation than self-defense, but it's a measure of what you need to do sometimes in order to make... You need to judge the situation as it comes. And if you're good enough, you can deal with the situation handily. And if you're not good enough or prepared enough, you are probably in the wrong place in the wrong time. And should run away, if anything. Because there are other people who can take care of situations like that better than you can. Like, if you're ever, like, a black belt in martial arts or anything, do not go whole hog, demonstrate all your black belt arts against somebody who's trying to take you out and steal your car or something. Just run around the car, run away from them, get away from them, run to a superstore or something. Get around a lot of people. Get around as many people as you can. And be safe. Well, that's my spiel for the day. And everyone, I hope you had a good time watching this video today. Take good care of yourselves until the next video. And have a good time until then. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.